This ain't nothing new, you know just what we're doing. Life's hard, but we're gonna make it through it. Life's hard, but we're gonna make it through it. You can't stop this train. You know we not doing it for the fame, but up in the city, people knowing the name. Cause we don't stop, won't stop, yeah, we keep it rolling. Don't stop, won't stop, yeah, we keep it going.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of A Break with Jake. I got my new friend, legend, Corey Smith in the house today. Corey, how are you, brother?
I'm doing well. You use the term legend loosely, I think.
I meant it. I've done my research. I have friends in the back that have told me a little bit about you. I think you're just a humble man, bro.
No, I'm just too young to be a legend. That's all I'm saying. Like,
okay, we're working on becoming the legend, man. I really appreciate you taking some time to come chat it up, man.
No, thank you. My buddy Jay was telling me about this the other day, and so I was happy that this worked out on such short notice.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's the best. It's like it's a super cool vibe, and it's really cool for me. I have buddies here that I interview, and that's also incredible. But when I have like it's like meeting a new man. Right on. None of this is staged. It's like we're about to find out about each other. It's the best, man.
You know, I'm especially during COVID. You know, I was off the road for so long, and then I kind of eased back into things, and now our touring schedule is starting to look sort of like it did before COVID. And
there
all.
It is.
But a lot has changed in the world since then. So, like the other night, we were down in, oh hell, I don't even know where. Well, we were over in Knoxville in Murrayville.
Yep.
And we played at that shed, that Harley Davidson place, and it was this awesome show, and there was probably 1,500, 2,000 people there, and it was just a banging show. Just felt like back in the day, and it was so much fun. And then outside, about 100 people probably gathered outside the bus, like wanting me to want me to go out there and say, hey.
Oh, yeah.
And back in the day, I was all about that. Like I would do that until I met every last person. But
love that.
Now I'm older though, and now I can't like. Now I just kind of go back to the bus and smoke enough weed where I'm afraid of going outside.
Baby. Go get high, baby. It's time.
So. But this time they were out there, and I was like, you know what, damn it, all those people out there want to meet me. I'm going to walk out there and see what's up. And it's been a long time since I've done that, and I realized, like, it used to just be, hey, everybody, let's take a picture.
Totally.
Take a selfie. Now everybody's videoing me. Now everybody's, like, snapping or whatever. And it's like, hey, what's up, everybody? It's Corey Smith here. And it's like, I'm just on film the whole time.
Hello.
Thinking, this is bizarre.
What's going on? 100%, dude. What's up? No, dude, I love that so much, man. I really do. I want to ask, just on that topic, just right off the top, I want to know, you've been on the road a lot more than I have, a lot more than a lot of people, my buddies. Talk to me, man. I want to start with a banger. What is the craziest either tour or concert story, something that happened, no filter? The ones you can share, I want to know what is some crazy shit where it's like, this isn't normal.
Okay, it's easy to answer because
Let's go.
It's actually not that easy. There's definitely, I'll put it like this. There's been a lot of crazy shit.
100%.
Right? You got so a whole volume of crazy shit, of which I could perhaps pick one, but there's actually one that's the craziest shit, and it's the one that inspired a song I've got out. I didn't put it on a record or anything. I think it was on my Live in Chattanooga record. I got a song called Chattanooga.
Oh yeah.
And so
Chattanooga, baby.
The night that inspired that song was one of the craziest nights ever, because it was, I've got this song, the Fuck the Popo song, that's it's not always greeted with kindness. And
Totally.
Some people don't find the humor in my experience, but really that song, the Fuck the Popo song, is just a song that I wrote about some shit that happened to me and how I felt about it. Like, fundamentally, that's my fucking job as a writer. Can I cuss on here? If I have, I've already. Okay.
Hell the fuck yeah, you can,
okay,
dude.
Okay, then don't cut that out. But, I feel like that's my fucking job as a writer, is to be honest, and it doesn't mean everybody's going to like what I have to say, but if I'm honest, then I'm doing my job. So that's all Fuck the Popo was. It wasn't meant to offend anybody. It wasn't meant to make some broad political statement. But I realized, like, some people, especially people in authority, it pissed them off. There were nights where, like one night in Knoxville, I had a police officer tried to accuse me of starting a riot and was threatening to take me to jail because I played the song. I've had other places that were like, you can't ever come back here and play because that song, I've had some police officers that afterwards I would go up to them to shake their hands and thank them for helping, and they wouldn't shake my hand.
Shit.
Yeah, I had a guy tell me like, no, I hear what you think about it. So I was like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Obviously you didn't listen. But anyway, that song's got me in some trouble, but it's never caused an episode like what happened in Chattanooga this one night. And it was
yes, sir.
The first time I played in Chattanooga, I played this place called Rhythm and Brews, and I was pumped because there was like 300 people there.
That's it.
And it was my first time in Chattanooga.
Let's rock.
And
300, baby.
I was like, let's go. And then I think we sold it out. And then there was this one time I was there, or the last time I was there, where I was starting to play the Fuck the Popo song, and it just so happened that a police officer walks in. It was just happenstance.
Like
he
a
was
movie
looking
scene.
for somebody underage or something. He was there on a mission to find somebody. And so he hears me start thinking Fuck the Popo, and he thinks that I'm singing it for him.
Because he just walked in.
He just walked in, right?
Oh,
and somebody
shit.
from the balcony poured out a beer, and it hit him. And so he's pissed, and he's threatening to lock me up. And he basically tells the promoter there at the venue, you can't ever have him back. Like, if he comes back, you're going to have some problems. So guess what? I never got to go back to that venue. So it was years later before I was able to go back and play a club, and I played at Track 29, and the thing was sold out, and it was just one of those epic nights, and the crowd was rocking, because it's always doing that in Chattanooga. The crowd's singing along. It's just one of those high-energy nights.
Totally.
Yeah, and I get off stage. I just finished. I closed with If I Could Do It Again, and this place is just roaring, and I'm sorry, the place is roaring, and then I walk off stage, and my tour manager, Brian, is like, hey, man, they're telling you not to play Fuck the Popo. And I was like, what the fuck, man? This is an 18 and up show.
Now we're talking.
This is a sold out show. These are all grown-ups here. I was like, it wasn't mentioned in the contract because, occasionally there might be a fair or something and they won't want me to play Fuck the Popo. And I don't want to cuss in front of kids,
Got it.
If there's a Ferris wheel, odds are I'm not going to play Fuck the Popo.
Hell
right?
no, we ain't playing the Ferris. Nope.
Yeah, so I'm pissed. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, well, apparently that police officer from years ago at that bar, Rhythm and Brews, that same police officer now he's the head of ABC. He's the head of the liquor in town. And so
oh my God.
And so he hates me apparently. He comes and in the previous week there had been, and this is horrible, like some police officer got into a big fight at the Jamie Johnson concert and some people got beat up, I think.
Yeah.
Like it was a mess. But that was the week before. And frankly, that didn't have fucking shit to do with me.
100.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And it certainly didn't have anything to do with my audience who had paid to hear my song. And the audience is chanting, fuck the Popo, fuck the Popo. And I'm like, I'm so mad, like I turned over some chairs in the back and I'm cussing. Like, I can't believe somebody would come in and flex their authority and fucking, censor me and,
Totally.
And so I went out and I sat down solo acoustic and I explained myself to the audience. I was like, this song has a tendency to piss people off. But I basically explained all the things I just explained to y'all. I was like, this ain't meant to offend anybody here.
Exactly.
And so I start playing it. PA shuts off, lights come up, they shut the show down. And there was almost a fucking riot. Like when those lights came up, I could see people's faces because I sort of set it up. I was like, hey, there's people here who said they would shut the show down if I played this.
Sonny.
So I want to let y'all know. So I started playing the chords and apparently that D chord really did it. They heard that D chord and
shut him down. Fuck
and,
this, dude. Wow.
Yeah, shut me down.
So how long had you been playing before you played that song?
Well, it was encore, so I'd gotten through with the whole show.
You gotten
but I didn't
through.
get to finish encore.
Shit, I feel like that might be worse to shut it down on the encore because everyone's ready for that shit.
Yeah.
And like, if you're shutting that one off, you're gonna send some people home pissed off.
The idea that there's a guy with so much power or influence that without any cause can come into a room, I shouldn't say without any cause, but he can come into the room and decide that artistically I'm not allowed to do something and that these adults, these 18-year-olds who bought a ticket can't hear something, because it criticizes government.
Man.
Like, that's what the First Amendment is for, right? First Amendment specifically is about protecting our free speech to criticize who? Not each other, the government.
Right.
We have the right to criticize the government, and that's what so like, even though I don't have the right to sing Fuck the Popo wherever I want because a private club can choose not to have me there. That's their choice.
Exactly.
But when a police officer says you don't have the right to play that because it criticizes us, that's a First Amendment issue. So I was ready to go to the mat.
It would be similar to you telling him how to do his damn job. You can't arrest that dude because this and this. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
That's a crazy story. I've never heard anything close to that. Wow.
Yeah, that was the short-winded version.
No, 100%. So I need to know, man. Like they shut this shit down, turn the lights on. What are you doing? What is the crowd doing? What's your reaction?
So I just went. I was angry. I went back and was like, "Fuck this shit." Fuck these. And I was disappointed. And then I heard the crowd out there just raging, and so I sat back for a while because apparently it was like. There were people that were mad.
Are they like throwing shit on the stage?
Yeah, some people are.
Just getting wild.
It's just getting wild. And so I had to wait inside for a while. But when we finally went outside, there was a crowd of people around the bus that they had known what was happening. And they were just chanting my name, like Corey. And I just walked through the sea of people that were there, like, in support of me. They knew what happened. And I got on the bus, and it was even though they were supporting me, it was still kind of scary because there were so many. They were like shaking the bus, and it was like they were holding phones up trying to get pictures and shit.
Damn.
Like that. So I was flattered, but at the same time I was kind of scared.
I can imagine, dude. It brings me to another question. Just because, man, you've done it. It's like, what have you had a story to where you're on the road, on the bus, in a van, in a car, and shit goes bad before you even get to the show? Do you have anything crazy? Like I've seen like a couple buddies, couple guys I don't know, like there's been people come to their bus and they're trying to rob them, and then or someone hits their bus. No. Do you have anything like that where it's like, dude, this shit's before you're even up, like while you're on the road, not at the venue?
I mean, there's so much shit like that. Like that just comes with the territory. Like like travel mishaps and shit. I'll tell you one that was really a bummer. Like I had a chance to play Stagecoach, and this would have probably been like 2016, maybe 2000. But I had a new album that was out, and I was doing the promo for that, and I was doing the tour with Darius Rucker. So we did like 15 dates, I think, with Darius Rucker.
Damn.
It was awesome. So we're on a big tour. And we were doing Stagecoach. I got offered to do my first Stagecoach out in California.
Wow.
And Florida Georgia Line was headlining it that night, and I was playing like 3 or 4 before them. I had a pretty good spot for who I was. So there's no telling how many tens of it would have been the biggest audience I'd ever played in front of. But we played Stagecoach the day after the last day of the Darius Rucker tour. So, and that was down in Alabama, in Gulf Shores. And so we played the show with Darius, and of course Darius wants to have an end of tour party.
That's it.
So we stay out, we stay up. Like they had some food trucks brought in and some margarita machines and shit like that. So
let's rock.
And I'm telling you, if you get Darius Rucker telling stories and stuff, you ain't gonna stop listening. Like
that's an all-night event, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you're just like, I'm here for the duration until, as long as he's awake enough to tell us stories, I'm gonna keep listening.
I'm gonna keep rocking.
Yeah. So we stayed up late, and we had to catch a 6 a.m. flight out of Pensacola to start making we had to connect in Houston and then fly into Palm Springs and then get vanned into the Stagecoach area.
Damn.
But we had plenty of cushion. We had like 3 hours of cushion.
Yeah.
So we get the flight in Pensacola. We get to Houston. Our flights are delayed, or the connecting flight was delayed. And so then it's delayed a little bit longer. Then we're doing the math, and it's like, if this flight doesn't get here within an hour, we may not be able to play Stagecoach. And then finally, they're like, the connecting flight has been canceled. And so it's like, well, we're not going to be able to play Stagecoach, I guess. So I go up to the counter, and I'm like, or my tour manager does. And by that point, we'd been on the road like 2 weeks. So we're like, fuck, man, let's just go back to Georgia. We're in Houston. It's like, can you change our flight so we can just go home? We're gonna miss our gig. It's gonna cost us a bunch of money,
right?
So they were like, yeah, but it was gonna cost like $400 a ticket to change it back to Georgia.
Damn.
So we're like, well, shit. So we just fly on to Palm Springs, get in the van, go out and friggin' watch Stagecoach. So somebody else had to play my slot, and I had to. It was actually my friends called the Railers. They had a cool band back then. They played my spot. Yeah.
I guess that, I just don't know about that. Whenever you can't, I've never even thought about people travel mishaps. Do they get a band that's already played, or do they do they call someone quick and be like, are you in the area? What's that process?
Yeah, they take somebody from early in the bill and just move them up, and they might extend some of those. It was a good deal for the Railers. It sucked though. We got there.
Oh, it's terrible.
And it was just like, man, look at all these people.
Oh,
such good
shit.
exposure.
Dude, we were on the road probably about 3 months ago. We were in Pontiac, Michigan, and we were just waiting. We got there early. It was like 2:30, and dude knocks on the door, and we don't have anyone. We didn't order any. I mean, we know it's not anyone we know. So he fucking knocks on the door. The bus driver opens it up, and he's like, "What's going on?" And this guy's like, I mean, this man, he's been doing coke since he was 3, dude. Like he was like, "Man, I'm just looking for some money, man. I'm just looking for some fucking money, man. And I see this bus, man." He's like, I really just want to know if y'all got anything for me. And the bus driver is like, "Dude, no, we don't have anything for you." And he's like, this was some crazy shit. He starts kind of like flipping out. And like we were supposed to give him money, which I get it. We really didn't. So this motherfucker, he starts going on this rant because we're in Pontiac, Michigan. You can't really escape that bit. Like you're there. Like you can't go drive off or some shit. So he starts like wanting to fucking fight. I was on the road with a dude named David Morris, and he was wanting to like fight everyone on the team. And he was like in the bus, he was like, fuck y'all, man. You don't even care about anyone. You playing this fucking show, and
That's
you don't want to fucking give us money.
Walking
and
into somebody's house, though.
Exactly.
That's when you get,
And we were just like, dude. Fucking
We've had to explain that to people. It's like this is our house, and you would never just walk into somebody's front door and not worry about.
Unless you're trying to get blasted, son. I mean, it could be this. I mean, that's just that was wild. Yeah. That was wild.
One thing that I've noticed is being an artist, and when people like might know who you are, there's a lot of people that are like, there's a lot of people that probably think I'm a dick because sometimes circumstances. Anybody would kind of be a dick, but if an artist is a dick and gets seen as being like then all of a sudden it's like everybody jumps to the conclusion. And I'm telling you, I'm the kind of person where that kind of shit happens to me all the time, where it'll be a completely innocuous situation, like and something will happen and then I'll come out of it like looking like the dick.
It's crazy. It's such a great point because people who don't do music, they can just be the dicks, the biggest dicks in the world. But us, we get exactly what you're saying. It's like and then everyone's be like, "Oh, that guy's a doucher. He's not even a good dude."
So check this out. One time I was back years ago. I don't know if they still do the Bama Jam or not, but they used to do the Bama Jam or the Bama Slam. Jay, what is it? The Bama Jam, Bama Slam? It was one of those.
Bama Jam, baby.
It was the very first inaugural Bama Jam, and I was playing one of the stages. And I can't remember if I was I don't know if I was closing the stage or right before closing the stage, but I was going on late in the bill on this smaller stage, and this was back when Zac Brown was starting out too, and Zac Brown was playing like right before me or a couple of spots. I can't remember, but I was glad because I actually got the chance to go and watch Zac's set, which I'd only been able to see a few times, and they were just banging, and so I was pumped, and I went out front with some of Zac's crew to watch his show, and I got to sit next to the soundboard, and I've got a pretty good view of the stage, and I think his manager was sitting next to me and stuff, and then all of a sudden this fucking fat guy without his shirt on, and there's nothing wrong with being fat.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Or hairy, but he was both, and he didn't have his shirt on.
This man had it all.
Yeah, and he sat right in front of me, and I'm just like, okay, and I didn't say anything because that's the kind of guy I am. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to get up and move. So I got up and moved. And I went further back, and I had a bottle of water in my hand that it had like that much left in it, and I sat it behind me on the ground. In fact, I said it specifically so that I knew that when I got up, I would see it because I'd turn like,
There you go.
And so I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, this guy that was working the soundboard, he wasn't working for Zac, but he was like with the production company just there.
Yeah.
Like I just saw a foot, and I saw my water bottle just get punted like 15 yards, right? So this guy just comes and he just kicks my water bottle across the
on purpose.
On purpose.
What the fuck?
I'm like,
dude, what the hell?
Like what the hell, man?
Yeah, he's a fucking kicker. He's a fucking punter.
I was like, what the hell, man? He said, I don't like trash around my area, and I'm like. And I went and got up and I got my water bottle. I was like, that's not trash. That's my fucking water bottle. I was like,
son, I'm trying to get hydrated.
And he was like, what are you doing back here anyway? And I was like, oh, like, and I did play I'm playing here tonight. And, I'm playing later. Like, my name's
Bitch.
Corey Smith.
Yeah,
And he goes,
sit
oh.
down.
And well, he's the guy who would have been mixing me. So he's like, oh, you're going to sound real good tonight. And when he said that, I was like,
that is crazy.
I was like, oh, you motherfucker. And I went running back and I was like, we're packing up the bus. We're getting out of here unless they get rid of that guy. So I end up looking like a huge douchebag because I'm the angry one. Zach Brown's team just sees me like cussing with this guy. and they're like, hey, can you calm down and get away from the soundboard? And I'm like, I didn't do anything. That's just the kind of shit that happens to me.
It all stemmed from some H2O, man. You were just trying to stay hydrated, and this dude he wanted to be a fucking college kicker, and he didn't get to do it. I mean, I get it, dude. It's like, but once you tell him, he becomes a whole different man.
Yeah, if that had been somebody else, that would have probably been that could have been a fist fight. But if I'd have done that,
right. That's crazy, though. I mean, damn, I'm trying to think what I would have done if this motherfucker kicked my bottle. I don't know, dude.
Kick somebody's water bottle.
I mean, I would have thrown something at him.
I hope that guy's watching this.
Yeah, I hope you're watching this too. I don't know your name.
Man,
let's call him bitch. Yeah. That's what we should call him. let's call him a bitch. That's it, man. Well, bro, I want to get into I did a little of my research. I like to really knock it off where we're just kind of figuring out each other. But I know you started you were really big in the college bar scene, and I really want to know how does that start and what's that like? Going to seeing all the bad bitches and the crazy dudes and just playing them songs. What's that? How does that start for you? I'm really curious.
It was crazy. Times have changed a lot, obviously, because my first record was 20 years ago. 20 years ago was my first record came out, which is crazy to think about. And then I put out the first one in 2000. What year is it? 2020? Yeah, 2003. I put out my next record in 2004, and my next one in 2005, and that third one was The Good Life, and that one my first record had 21 on it. Which
I love that song.
Yeah, and the next one had Drinking Again, I think was a big one on that one, and then the next one, The Good Life, had it had Maybe Next Year and If I Could Do It Again, I think.
Bangers.
Maybe either way, I was teaching high school through all of those, so I wasn't even doing music full time. So when I at the end of 2005, when I made the decision to leave teaching high school and do it full time, then it was really 2 or 3 years, but looking back, it just seems like that. Like it seems like it happened so fast.
Man, what subject did you teach?
Social studies.
Dude, if I had a social studies teacher that fucking was like, you know what? Fuck this class. I'm going to be a rock star. And I would be like, you might be the coolest dude I've ever seen in my life.
No, I was not. I was not the coolest dude. No, I'm going to show you. I keep this with me everywhere I go.
Let's see it.
Because I don't ever want to forget.
Oh yeah.
So this is proof that I was not cool. But this is who I am at heart. I will always and forever be Mr. Smith, I guess, at North Gwinnett High School. So this is me right out of college when I was writing 21 and all that shit.
Come on, you got to get rid of that. Yeah, that's the social studies teacher. You're teaching them social shit, baby.
Yeah.
That is.
Wow. So that's been in my wallet as I've changed wallets over 20 years. I carry that with me. You get a good shot of that there?
Oh, I think, did you get that thing? That is crazy. So cool. So I guess my question, I think if I'm a social studies teacher, well, fuck, you're like, I want to go play. How does that even come to your?
It's math. I was putting out these records. Back then I'd read this book. It was called The Future of Music. And here was the idea. And now keep in mind, we are living in the world that this book described in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Basically, the premise of the book was that this old notion of in music where you either make it and you're a big old star and you get paid a bunch of money and everybody knows who you are, or you haven't. That was sort of, and basically and it was because the radio stations still controlled all the avenues really to the marketplace in terms of promotion. Major labels still controlled all the avenues of distribution and stuff. So it was really still that game. But the future of music was basically saying, in the future, you're going to be able, there's going to be a large middle class of musicians. There's going to be people that can hustle and they can write songs and they can make records and then go out and tour and they can produce records and they can hustle and they can actually make a lot of stuff, because it predicted that one day music would be like water. It predicted that one day people would just pay their music bill every month. And guess what's happened since then?
That fucking happened.
Yes, basically the book sort of foretold what would be the radical change in the music business that happened post iTunes.
Wow.
Really. So I caught the front end when MySpace was sort of like TikTok has been the past few years.
Yeah.
When MySpace was like, see, back with MySpace, when you search music, you could go to MySpace and you could say, I want to listen to country music. And it would give you 3 charts side by side on the same page. And like if you search country music, there would be major label country acts, at which you'd see somebody like a Kenny Chesney at the top of back when I was starting out.
Right.
And then you'd have the independent acts. And at the time, actually, Garth Brooks was up there because Garth Brooks was technically an independent by that point. And then you had an unsigned column. Unsigned. Like, that's like people like me that are more independent than
underground.
Underground, right? And so if you search country music, my name for 2 years almost was the #1 unsigned country artist on MySpace. So on MySpace, when you search country music, you saw my name next to Kenny Chesney's and Garth Brooks.
No shit.
Yep. That's I started getting millions of streams. Like all of a sudden, I'm getting iTunes checks for like $20,000 a month and shit like that.
Where does that come from? How do you get to the top of that list?
It was completely like I had no management. There was no gimmicks. It was completely organic. It was completely people. Like when I was going out starting to play these shows close to home, I would sell my little CDs that I made for $8 or $10, and people would go burn them and share them and take them to places like North Georgia University up in Dahlonega, and they'd have their parties there and they'd play my music, or they'd take them to whatever colleges they went to, and that's what and then they put them on Napster or LimeWire. And so everybody's listening. And so for people like me,
LimeWire, bro, I used to burn the shit out of some CDs on LimeWire.
Oh man, the music industry
I was a criminal, son.
Is like, oh my God, we're dying here. Like the major labels are like, this free music, what the fuck is this?
Totally.
Meanwhile, I'm like, hell, I only paid $800 for this record. I'm good. Like I'm way in the black.
Exactly.
So give this shit away and come see me at a show,
Dude.
Yeah.
That so have you seen, number one, that's crazy. Just you being at the top, you're next to Chesney and right there, you're getting tons of streams. What's the next step during that 2-year stage? What's the next step? That's a big moment.
Well, first of all, those weren't streams; those were downloads. Those were 99-cent digital downloads. So
they're
think
buying
about
them
the
bitches.
difference. Yes, that the 99-cent single on MySpace, the $9.99 album, not on iTunes. I mean, the 99-cent single on iTunes. This is prior to Spotify and streaming. Was I mean, I miss those days because that's where the $20,000 checks a month were coming in because your 99-cent digital downloads. When I've experienced the music business change, adapt, change again, and then now readapt. It's constantly doing it. So now, now I've had to come to a different understanding of how to. Actually, now I see streaming as a fantastic way to get the music out, because if you think about the album, like when you buy pay $10 for an album, or actually when I was a kid it was buying CD and you pay $15-20 for a CD.
Yeah.
Well, when you buy it, unless you lose the CD, you ain't gonna buy it again. So your transaction's done. You've paid your $15 for that music and that's it. Where in the streaming world, if someone likes that music, it might just be a fraction of a cent every time they listen to it.
Right.
But they're gonna listen to it over their lifetime. And so over the long term, you're getting that.
It's a great. What city? Whenever that was going on, when you were just playing a bunch of shows, what city was the one where it was like this beats everyone? This shit's crazy.
Athens, GA, baby.
Athens,
Come
GA.
on, yeah, that was where it all started.
What is fucking? I've never been to Athens, Georgia. I think about it. What does Athens, Georgia smell like? Does it smell like tacos?
It depends on where
Does it smell like shit?
There's definitely some places where it smells like the dumpsters.
I feel like it could. I feel like it could smell like shit, or it could smell like flowers. You just gotta go find different spots. I've just thought about that, dude.
You go walk through the middle of North Campus, and it smells like magnolia trees and shit.
Yeah,
like that.
baby.
You know, it's like you get fresh air and all that. There's places to think. You got old classic architecture.
Yeah.
And then you know the cool thing about Athens, Georgia, compared to most other college campuses, is that you do have a beautiful campus that's been there since the 1700s.
Yep.
You know, 1776, I think, is when the university was founded, and it's lots of history there, and it's just beautiful. And then it's right next to a very vibrant downtown that is an anomaly in the South, really, especially because it is. I always tell people Athens is like taking just a tiny little cross section from a place like New York City.
Yeah.
Where you have compared to all the surrounding areas, it's diverse. There's lots of different types of food. The music scene was always interesting.
Yeah.
Like when I grew up, you had like REM. Was from there. The B-52s.
Yeah.
So it's always a little bit of a salad bowl of sorts.
So Athens, Georgia was just lit up. That was the place to be.
Well, there's a lot.
Corey
of history
Smith's in
there.
town. It's time. Come to Athens, Georgia, baby. It's time. My college town smelled like burnt lettuce and gross vagina.
Oh.
Yeah. Mix that one up together, and that's what I.
What college was that? Because you're giving them such a glowing.
I'm just gonna say the Tulsa area. We'll just say that it was in the Tulsa area. I won't shout them out too much, but yeah, that shit was crazy, dude. I mean, you would be just trying to get out on the town and get drunk, and it smells bad, dude. It smells like weed and dirty vajayjay.
You sure that wasn't you?
Huh? Yeah. I loved it. I loved it, man. That's crazy. So Athens, Georgia, I want to ask, just have you, at your show, there's been a lot of shit going on recently, actually, where people are getting things thrown at them, not even in a bad way.
Yeah.
Like last night, Kelsey Ballerini got hit by like a bracelet in the face. Have you ever, what's the craziest, you're on stage performing, where something in the crowd is going ape shit crazy? What is that story?
Okay, I was Riley Green's a good friend of mine, and I did last year. We did like 15 dates together. We actually have a couple coming up next week.
Hell yeah!
But this one was the end of the tour show, and so they thought it'd be really funny I shouldn't say they. Riley thought it'd be really funny for all of the crew to get those Nerf guns that shoot those little Nerf bullets,
Yep.
But I'm talking like it felt like a million shots. Like I'm on stage and playing a song, and all of a sudden I just feel like pow. And I'm like, wow,
What?
And then I look over, and then all of a sudden it's just like, thousands of these things just covering the
Holy
stage, and they're just shooting us, and I'm trying to sing a fucking song up there,
Where's the respect, dude?
Yeah. Well, then I guess the crowd gets excited, like, because they see all these bullets, and then I'm singing, and then all of a sudden I get hit square in the mouth with a can of those Zen packets, those little plastic. It's like somebody just hurled it, and it hit me right in the mouth,
right in the face.
Yeah, and I was thinking, I think it drew blood and shit.
Hell yeah, it did.
Yeah,
those are some warriors.
And I loved it because then Riley felt like it was his fault.
That's right.
I'm like, yeah, you set the precedence.
You did that.
Yeah, you don't throw shit on the stage. You just shot me, and you just scattered all this shit over the stage.
I think about the dude that threw the Zen packet.
Yeah. It wasn't a packet. It was that, it was like getting hit with a snuff can.
Right.
Yeah.
If you knew who threw that bitch and you got to talk, what would you have done to him?
I would have told Riley to go fuck him up.
Just fuck that dude up, bro. Kill that dude, bro. No, that's insane, man. I mean, I
wouldn't have done shit. I would have.
Dude, that's wild, though. I mean, that's wild. Have you had any crazy like fights where like just drunk motherfuckers just fighting their ass off?
I never get it. It's always the slow songs that start the fights.
Isn't that weird?
Like, yeah, it's
they
like,
get so. They just their brain can't comprehend.
It's the men,
It's the men.
It's like they got this. I play a song like "Let Me Love You" on a back or something that's up tempo, and they'll play this nice, sweet, sentimental love song, and they start feeling stuff, and they've been drinking, and they're just like, "Oh my god," and they don't know how to process, and it's like, I think I'm gonna have to whoop somebody's ass.
Let's fight right now. Who wants to fight?
Yeah,
dude, that's crazy, man. That's so cool. So I want to, before we go to the next segment, what's been going on lately? What's life been like lately? You've been on the road. What's been going on in your life lately?
I've been pumped. Like career wise, it's like I just looked at my tour schedule a little bit ago, and it's actually starting to look like my tour schedule used to look. You know, like
that's exciting.
It's just, I looked at COVID for me was a chance to just, and I'm sure it was for a lot of people, you know, a chance to reset. But you know, mine, I actually had. I had to have eye surgery at the beginning of 2020 because I only got one eye because I got hit with a rock when I was a kid.
Damn.
So my one eye is very precious.
That's it, baby.
It's but about, I don't know, like 2017 or 18, I got diagnosed with a cataract because my vision started getting fuzzy. But I was kind of too young to have a cataract. But it's only one eye. So anyway, long story short. It would have been risky to do the cataract surgery. There's like a 25% chance of some shit going bad that the doctors were like, look,
it's a fucking high percentage, dude.
Can you work? You know, they basically were like, we don't want to do the surgery until you've lost so much vision that even if it goes bad, you're not going to be worse off.
Whoa.
Right? So for about 2 years, I just gradually went to where I went from being able to drive and function to not being able to drive, not being able to play cards,
shit.
not being able to read the TV, I couldn't read my set list on the stage, so they started just having to tell me in my ears. I had to have help getting on and off the stage. Yeah. So this is at the end of 2019 that it's gotten to this point where now I'm pretty much blind. I mean, I was legally blind. And,
right.
And so I just canceled my whole first quarter of 2020.
Man.
And I decided at that time I was going to start managing myself. I decided I was going to look at changing agencies and restructure how I do everything. And because I had to get my head around the idea that, hell, this surgery may not go well, and I don't know when I'm going to get back on the road.
Damn, that's scary, dude.
Yeah, but it was like, what is my life going to look like if I'm not on the road?
It's crazy.
So this is the end of 2019. I end up clearing my calendar. I do the surgery in February of 2020. And then it turned out great, and it's like I had a new lease on life because I could immediately see better than I've ever been able to see my whole life.
Thank God, baby.
Yeah, well, thank you.
That's
man.
man.
And then the pandemic hit the month later.
Shit.
So
you thought. Yeah, that's it. That's crazy, man.
But yeah, so it's sort of like that's given me a new lease on everything, and I've just been amazed at going back to these markets. Like we went to Louisville last weekend, and or it was the weekend before last. Or shit, like that Knoxville show I was telling you about. Man, like to go back to Knoxville after all this time and have that many people, like still
incredible.
Yeah, and
it just speaks something to you though, man. It's like you got the organic fan base. They know Corey Smith's in town. Let's fucking rock out. Let's go get drunk and have a good time. So
yeah, it's been great, and I changed a lot. I mean, I used to be hell bent on doing everything myself because I had such success early on. In my world, at least, doing things myself, writing myself. I wasn't interested in co-writing. You can ask any of my friends that are in the music business for years. People like Tyler Reeve, been trying to get me to write songs with them for 15, 20 years, and I was just always like, I don't write songs with people. I don't, it's not really what I do. But during the pandemic, I started because I was always in my studio by myself trying to write. I just started for the first time thinking, damn it, I need somebody to bounce an idea off of. I need some feedback. I need some human interaction. So when things opened up, I started calling up people like Tyler Reeve and Wyatt Durrett and old friends like Jacob Powell.
Yeah.
And then I made Jordan Rager and Cole Taylor. And then I made a lot of new friends like Jeb Gibson and now Justin Holt. And I know I'm leaving off Eric Dillon and Wyatt McCubbin. I mean, so many. So many great writers.
Yeah,
I can't even name them all, but I've just had a great time doing it. It's given me a new lease on the creative process. I made a record and finished it last August, and I spent a while to figure out the strategy for how to put out a record these days by myself. Yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
And so I've been, it's been great. I mean, I think the music's the best music I've ever done.
I love that,
and it's been awesome to be able to incorporate it into the show because it's been a long time since I've had so much new material coming out. So
that's super exciting, man.
Yeah,
I'm really excited. I'll be tapped in. All my people got to be tapped in. Anyone watching who we don't know, Corey Smith on the way. He's still rocking, baby.
Appreciate you,
Let's
Jake.
go, man. I want to. Next segment's pretty fucking random, but it's like a rapid fire where we're just gonna bounce questions right off, and they're like general questions, but. I just want to know what's comes right to your brain because sometimes it's definitely not what we're thinking. But shit, I want to rock with it. Let's see what goes on.
Right.
Okay, so let's start here. Dream collaboration, dead or alive. Who would you have on the record with you? You could have anyone.
Paul Simon.
Oof. Okay, I love this one. When was your first kiss?
Ooh, I was a late bloomer.
Can you talk to me about that real quick?
I think I was like, I was probably 18. 17,
Damn.
17 or 18.
You were just horny for like 4 years. You were like, I can't wait to feel that, bro. You were watching movies.
Yeah, so
beating off the movies,
if
bro.
that was my first kiss, that should tell you something a bit about when the whole shebang was. It wasn't very soon after, honestly.
Was it a what? Was it a cool story or not really?
No, it's definitely not one I want to just bounce off the walls in here.
Let's go to the next one. If you had to choose, man, would you rather have super strength or invisibility? It's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I would say super strength.
I think so too. I think invisibility would hurt my feelings.
Yeah. Well, I know what that would actually be invisibility. Now, wait a minute. Is this you can turn your invisibility on and off, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that does change a lot.
That is a big part.
Because I bet if
actually, let's make it where it's inevitable. You're fucking invisible
all the time. That sounds really sad.
It'd have to be both.
Like
it'd have to be both. It would be so.
But if you could turn yourself invisible, you could fuck up the guy with all the super strength.
Whoa.
Because he wouldn't know you were there, so you could just, reach up behind him and thump him in the ear.
Yeah, set that bitch off. Damn. Yeah, that's actually, I love that one. Next one, what's your biggest fear? And I'm talking like, not like life, it's just like an object. Mine's snakes. I hate snakes.
Oh, I love snakes. We got a pet snake.
Shit, dude.
Lieutenant Dan.
That thing, has it ever bit you? Has that thing ever bit you?
Oh, yeah, I got bit by, I've had snakes when I was a kid. I got bit in the mouth by my snake one time. Like, I got bit in the mouth. Because even the pythons have little teeth in the back that they hold on to the prey with. They're not fangs, but one of the little teeth got caught in my upper lip, and the other one got caught in my bottom lip. And the snake had my lips pinned together.
Damn!
I was like,
see, that's my thing, dude. I can't do that. That is my biggest fear. My also, before you answer, I've always thought about whenever I'm having I don't know why. If ever I'm making love in a snake, I had a pet snake. I've thought about this, and it crawled up into my bed. I would never be the same person after that. It would fuck me up.
No, I think you need to do it. Like, next time I come up, I'll see if I can bring Lieutenant Dan.
Shit.
And
Lieutenant Dan.
I just let him chill on the house. Yeah.
God damn, dude.
Does anybody not find that hilarious that we named him Lieutenant Dan?
I think that's incredible. Incredible snake name.
You ain't got
incredible,
no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
Incredible snake name.
I thought for sure that was going to be a belly tickler for everybody.
I love it, dude. So what's your biggest fear? What kind of creeps you out? Sometimes it's weird shit.
I hate spiders.
See,
I hate spiders with this same kind of thing. They just, and I don't know if y'all have, I don't think y'all have them up here, but like down in Georgia now we get these, I think they're called like Euro spiders. They're like Japanese spiders, and they're like giant, and they spin these neon green webs. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Oh, hell no.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. Like when they're popping now, and it's only been happening like the past few years, it's like arachnophobia. They're everywhere. I'll go out to like smoke some food.
No, sir.
Like I'll go out to my grill area, and like they'll just be covered. I have to go out there with a broom and just
knock them out, baby.
Knock them out, but I hate it. And then for the rest of the day, I'll feel them crawling on me.
Ooh, bro. I mean, spiders are also, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Yeah. Dream venue. You're selling out a dream venue. Where would it be?
Man, it's probably most people's is that Red Rocks.
Huge.
I've been to Red Rocks a couple of times. I've never seen a show there, but yeah, I would just love to be at a level where I could draw that kind of a crowd, especially somewhere as far away. We've had a lot of great times in Denver, but when I get out, especially west of Texas, it's kind of tough to get out there very often.
Hell yeah, dude.
So for me, it's like, man, if I could ever get to the point where I could play Red Rocks, that'd be badass.
Bro, I went to New Mexico one time to play a show, and I really felt like I was one of the only humans there. The area we were at, I can't even remember the area, but it was like, these motherfuckers are zombies. They're like they're on a trial run, dude. Like I mean, I feel like everyone, like I said earlier, was doing cocaine since they were like 3, and they just didn't know what the fuck was going on. And it was a bad show, but we rocked it out. Like we did everything. Yeah. But it's like some of those areas, man, they just don't even seem real. There's some areas in America, I know you've probably seen, it's just like this isn't a real place. You guys are like trial. You're on a trial run for being a human, and you're just fucking shit up while you're on here. It's gonna run out.
I haven't ran into the town full of mutants yet.
But
I mean, there are definitely some places that there ain't shit to do.
Yeah.
But those places I've also found can be the funnest places.
Great
because
point.
people have to they're inventing shit to do.
Great point.
You know,
I think there's both sides to it. If they're not already too drugged out, they're probably having a really damn good time.
Yeah, and I think it's probably my favorite thing about this career is that I've been able to travel so much. I've been to every state except for Hawaii and North Dakota.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, man, I think we live in a fantastic country, you know, and it's given me it's really moderated my views on most things. I'm not like I don't take an extreme view on most things because I've traveled so much.
Totally.
I feel like, I don't know, it's even fucked me up on like football and stuff because like I'm a Georgia fan. I went to the University of Georgia. I'm a diehard dog. And damn it, sometimes I feel sorry for the other teams because
I've been there.
Because I know people that like them. You know, it's really hard for me to admit that sometimes I've kind of felt sorry for the Gators.
That's it, man.
I haven't felt sorry for Alabama much.
Yeah, you can't,
but it has happened.
Dude,
it's
them Bulldogs, that Bulldog football team doesn't give a shit. They don't feel sorry for no one. They just kill.
Yeah, I know.
That's a good squad, man.
I should be ashamed of myself.
I want to ask, why the hell haven't you been to Hawaii or North Dakota? You've hit every area by there.
I just hadn't had a chance to go yet. I mean, Hawaii, that should be an easy one to check off the list.
That's
hey,
a good
let's
one.
go to Hawaii. But, you know, convincing my wife that we need to go to North Dakota for the weekend. I don't know. Where the fuck do you go in North Dakota?
What do you do in North Dakota?
I don't know.
Just get high and ride a buffalo.
I don't know.
That's it,
Because, you know,
baby.
Mount Rushmore that's in South Dakota.
That North Dakota. That's just what we said. You got to figure out shit to get into.
Yeah. I'm sure it's a beautiful state.
I talked to a girl one time from North Dakota. Well, she was from Oklahoma and moved to North Dakota. Denise, if you're watching this, you are still fine as hell. She has a boyfriend now, I think. But she was really cool. But they had she was telling me, they just get into weird shit. Like they'll be drinking, they'll have school, like high school. And after school, most people go home and go into athletics. They would just get fucked up like every night. And I was like, I get it actually. If I lived there, I'd be doing the same damn thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's you know, I think that's the same no matter what rural area you're in.
Great point.
You know, and it doesn't mean everybody's just all getting like super fucked up and acting crazy. But when you're in a rural area, you know, the town I live in is the same town I grew up in.
Oh, hell yeah.
But it's changed a whole lot. Like when I was growing up there, it was a red light town, and I graduated with like 42, 44 people
Now
in
we're
my
talking.
class. Now my
yeah.
kids, my son, my oldest just graduated from that same high school with
That's so cool.
almost 300, you know, kids. So
Oh, damn.
yeah, but it's still not big enough where there's really shit to do there.
Right.
You know, it's still like if we want to go out to eat, you know, most of the time we're gonna have to drive 30 minutes to go there.
Totally.
But when I was a kid, it was like there were dirt roads left, so it
Wow.
was no big deal to just go ride around on a dirt road, go hang out with somebody that lived far enough out.
That's
you didn't
it,
have
man.
To worry about anything
North
else.
Dakota, shit, dude. Yeah. Man, I don't even know. What do they have there? What's the big thing in North Dakota? Does anyone know? What do you do in North Dakota? Do they have like a big landmark or some shit? That's it. I don't even know what the hell they're doing up there,
I
bro.
bet they snowmobile and shit like that.
That's a good one.
I bet they hunt.
That's hunting's probably good.
I bet they hunt and fish.
Nature's probably pretty damn cool there.
Yeah, that's all we can think about. We can just imagine like trees and mountains. I bet they have trees.
That's it,
I bet
bro.
there's some grass.
That's it. Okay, so last rapid fire question is gonna be, I grew up on like watching wrestling and the walkout songs, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, that was huge.
Oh,
like the glass
wrestling.
breaking. Right.
I thought you were talking about like
No, I'm talking
wrestling.
about WWF.
Wrestling. Okay.
That. If you had a walkout song to your shows, what song would you choose?
Oh, a walkout song to my show.
Before you came on, you have a song
if
playing.
I was a wrestler.
No, you're the artist. Say you're playing a concert, right? And before you go on, you have the in-ears in, but you hear a song, and it's like everyone's getting fucked
Can I
up,
just
ready
play
to go.
You the perfect song.
You could play it.
I already
Yep.
used this. This is my intro.
I'd probably I'd play
this
some 50
song was-
Cent or some shit.
This song was written
This
for me.
is how
I'm just
we
gonna take
go.
you to the chorus. But this was actually no. Just listen to this song. Can y'all hear that?
Yeah,
This is meant to be my intro music.
I'm glad I asked this.
Ain't much shaking in a one-horse town. News travels fast when something good comes around.
Oh yeah, baby.
Saturday night they gonna be laying it down. Mr. Smith and his band are renowned.
Let's go.
Corey Smith in the house. Wow, they made that song for you, didn't they?
I'm a huge Delbert McClinton fan, and I was just listening to like Delbert on, random shuffle one day,
Damn.
and that shit came on. I was actually playing pool downstairs with my kids because Delbert McClinton for me that's what my dad listened to.
Wow.
And he always played pool and had a Coke machine that was full of beer, and all of his buddies came over and they'd throw darts and drink beer and play pool.
That's
and
it.
they listened to like a lot of Delbert McClinton, and so I love Delbert McClinton. And when this song came on, I was like, holy shit.
Mr. Smith in town with
And
the
it was
band.
in 2020, so I was like,
Woo!
whenever my ass gets back out on the road,
Boom.
this is my intro music.
I'm so glad I asked that. That's amazing, man. Last segment I want to talk about, like a lot of my fan base, really big into like the mental health side of things. And I just try to tell, like a lot of I do artist stuff too, and a lot of my music stems from mental health, where it's like I don't know really how to speak up about shit, and I didn't, and it was like going to the studio and putting pen to the paper and singing about it is what made me feel good. So I want to ask, man, with your music, how is music a big pathway for you to deal with whenever you're going through shit?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the most important
Totally.
way of doing it. I decided a long time ago, or I guess I learned a long time ago, that really it wasn't whether I should write, or it wasn't a question. Like, it was, I had to write. I had to write
Totally.
because I could feel it building up. And
100.
I'm still that way. Like I put out a song on around Father's Day called Heart Like Mine. And I wrote it with my friend Justin Holt, but he would tell you, he was in that right with me. It's like, when I wrote that song, I was, my oldest son was graduating, moving. He's going to college down in Tallahassee. I was really coping with a lot of this. Like, man, my kids are growing up.
Wow.
I had a lot on my mind, and guys, especially, we're not really taught to like show our emotions.
Exactly.
You're especially like the dad of the family. You're not supposed to be like.
Nope.
So I was dealing with a lot of that, and we started writing this song, and I didn't even know what the song was about at first. We just started stringing. I had like a melody. And man, it came out, and it was just like, there was moments when we were writing the song where I'm just, tearing up.
Wow.
Like, this was like
Special.
This is the kind of song that I had to write this song, and I was glad Justin Holt was there to help me get it out.
That's beautiful, man.
It was a great co-write.
It's beautiful. I just feel like it's exactly what you said. It's been the same thing for me, where just not knowing how to speak up. I was raised like I was an athlete, and you're just raised to not speak up about that shit. It's like, just hold it in and get through it, man. Let's keep going. And whenever I found music and like I was able to really be vulnerable with my music, it really changed a lot of things for me. And to see how it's affected other people who don't know how to speak up. That's been the big thing for me. People who can't sing, people who don't know what to say, whenever your music can affect them, that's one of the best feelings in the world to me, dude.
Yeah, and I know from experience of like torturing myself. I used to refer to my studio downstairs at the house as the dungeon. Like, honey, I'm going down to the dungeon, because I was in so much isolation down there day after day, putting so much pressure on myself, trying to get better.
Yeah.
Once I came up here and started working with other people, and especially recently, I've realized that mental health largely it comes down to having a support group, having a group of people around you that care about you, that if you feel a certain way, you're not ashamed to just say, you know what, I've been feeling like this lately.
Totally.
So
Agree.
the cool thing, that's really helped me over the years is the guys that I've always been out touring with, different people at different times, but like, right now I'm touring as a trio. Jeb Gibson's been out with us a lot. The same, for the guys on my crew, like, we're all like a family.
Yeah.
We all support one another.
Yeah.
They support me. I support them. The same thing up here when you're doing these writing sessions. You got to open up. You got to talk about things.
You got to.
And that's therapeutic. So I think the main thing is like, shit, man. To stay sane these days, it takes a village.
Exactly. I think you just hit the nail on the head, dude. It's having a really good circle is a big part. Because if you got the wrong people in your circle who, I don't know, let's just say they just want to go get fucked up every night, and you can have the best time partying with them, but whenever the lights come on, last call is over, and they're not going to be there, they don't want to talk about mental health. I had a little bit of that problem where it's like, we have a really good time when we're not sober. But whenever I need to talk, you wouldn't be there. You don't give a shit. And I had to kind of reassess the circle, and the circle, like you just said, all your guys on the road. That's a big part of it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to recognize when someone might have the appearance of, being a friend, but they're really more of an acquaintance. It's
Totally.
Then there's a difference, a big difference between a friend and an acquaintance. And the friends are the ones that they're going to tell you the truth, even when the truth is probably going to piss you off.
Exactly. I think it's spot on. Well, Corey Smith, brother, I really appreciate you coming by, man.
Oh,
this
hell
has been a pleasure.
Y'all gonna let me play some songs? I hope I didn't lug this guitar.
No,
nothing.
we're gonna cut this outro, and then we're gonna hear some music, baby. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of A Break with Jake. Corey Smith in the house today. Really appreciate you, brother. Make sure to check out his music, his social media platforms. Get after that. Be good to people. Peace out.
You can't stop this train. You know we not doing it for the fame, but up in the city, people knowing the name. Cause we don't stop, won't stop, yeah, we keep it rolling. Don't stop, won't stop, yeah, we keep it going.